I've spent my entire life in business looking at the untapped potential in projects and in people all over the world. That is now what I want to do for our country.
Of all the foreign countries concerned about a President Trump, Canada probably has the least to worry about. We're not Mexico, which has to worry about being shaken down for a border wall, and we're not Ukraine or Estonia, which has to worry about losing the NATO protection that shields it from Russia. But here's what Canada will have to keep an eye on over the next 4 years. National defense. For about 30 years, Canada has generally slacked on its own defense, and the Americans have been happy to do it for us. If something goes hinky with an airliner or a ship off the BC coast, more often than not, it's US jets that are scrambled to go check it out. This has generally been fine with the US, who knows they are better at protecting Canada than we are. But Trump has campaigned on a pledge to make allies pay for having the US military watch over them. Canada probably won't pay protection money to a Trump United States, so don't be surprised if our military spending gets a bit looser. Free trade. Trump has vowed to tear up NAFTA and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is bad for an essentially pro-trade country like Canada. Quite simply, we might need to drop everything and completely overhaul how we sell and buy things from the US. You might recognize this as most of our economy, but it's not a sure thing. A scrapping of NAFTA would have to pass the US House of Representatives, and it remains to be seen whether Republicans love Trump more than they love free trade. But there might be a silver lining for Canada with a President Trump. First of all, with pipelines. The Keystone XL pipeline was given the go-ahead by the US State Department, but vetoed by President Obama, a decision that Trump has vowed to reverse. So at a time when protests are basically kiboshing all of Alberta's other plans for a pipeline, a new way to sell oil would be good for recessed Alberta and the Canadian economy generally. Trump silver lining number 2, business environment. Remember in the 1970s when Quebec elected the Parti Québécois and a bunch of major corporations freaked out and moved their head offices to Toronto? Business does not like unpredictability, and Donald Trump is unpredictability incarnate. Say you're a company who brings in a lot of computer programmers from Israel, a high-tech country with about a 20% Muslim population. It's really going to screw with your talent pool when you've got a total ban on Muslim immigration looming. Same deal with talented immigrants. If you're a genius looking to make a lot of money very quickly, the United States has traditionally been your first choice for a new home. It's why half of America's billion-dollar startups are headed by immigrants. But if Trump takes a hatchet to American exceptionalism, more of those geniuses might come here. It's why, in the short term at least, this might be good for Canada. Having a stable government was never really a competitive advantage when you're only a adjoining neighbor with the United States. Sure, we have high taxes and crappy weather, but it just might end up being a good trade-off when the alternative is a country whose government seems to be getting a bit more South American than investors are comfortable with.